Hello, everyone. Welcome to the John and Wendy Show here, live on Twitch, later on YouTube. Excited to be back again with this incredible woman who I respect madly, the great Wendy Lee. Wendy, how are you?
I'm doing so good. I was at Grinchmas this morning at Universal Studios. It was
the pictures.
fun. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I got to interview the Grinch, asking those hard it's good journalism right there. No, we had some fun with
it. Is it someone we know?
I can't tell what the Grinch is.
Oh, okay.
I can't tell.
But
I think also, but I'm gonna say no because I think the Grinch would have hinted at something. But I did see a couple of other Who friends.
Right on.
So that was really nice and neat.
Me and you we used to work there, and I almost auditioned for the Grinch stuff the first year I was there to maybe play the governor or whoever is the mayor or whatever.
Mayor Mayhew.
Would have been so much fun, but I got told wearing those prosthetics can be quite a bear.
But it's just here
having to
for the Who.
Clean up your nose if you're sick or anything like that. So it's a lot, but yeah.
That part, yes. But this year, I mean, their noses aren't showing. I don't know if they.
Oh, are they in masks? Are they in masks?
Well, yes, but I also believe they still have their Who noses. I believe their Who noses have still grown in.
Oh, right on.
That's what it seems like, but I don't know. I cannot confirm.
Well, I saw the pictures. It was great. How was the experience, though, seeing it again, coming back to Universal Studios? What was the feeling like seeing how the Grinch stuff looks this time around?
I felt like my heart grew 3 sizes because I didn't have that last year.
Right.
It was kind of one of those weird Christmases where you just stay home. You didn't really go out and do much because you weren't sure. Can you? Can't you? Do we know? Vaccine wasn't a thing then at the time. It wasn't ready to be put out. So it was nice to come back. And it's not just the plaza that's direct decorated with all the Grinchmas stuff. It's like all of the theme park has, ornaments, holly,
right.
Lights everywhere. I didn't explore the whole park. I think I left around noon, but I spent most of the time at the plaza inside the Grinchmas area, and I talked with Cindy Lou Who, Mayor Mayhew, and Martha Mayhew, and the Grinch, and a couple of other Who civilians, and then I snuck over to One Wizarding World because I had to get myself a hot butter beer.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Finally.
I want to go back. I would like to go back. I love it there at winter time. It's so great at Christmas time, the park. It's so much fun, and people seem to have like even more of a smile on their face around this time. Everybody working there and everybody coming to visit as well. And it's not the drama of Disney, which can be a lot. Universal Studios is a little more relaxed sometimes, so it's great to see that. And so maybe there's a day coming up where the girlfriend's out of town or whatever, and I'll go up and hang out and see, because I obviously still have friends who work there and get me a free ticket. But it'd be nice to go back to the Harry Potter stuff. By the way, I was thinking about that the other day. It's been 5 years since I was at Harry Potter. It's kind of mind blowing. It's really.
When did you leave?
Mind blowing.
2016, 2017.
I think I left in 2016 or 2017. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was probably 2017, March of 2017. So the fact that it's been 4 or 5 years since I've been there is kind of crazy to think about, because it feels like yesterday that I was doing the wand show. I mean, I still occasionally do the speech in the shower every once in a while. But still, I just in case they call me off the bench, they need me on the emergency show. I want to be able to do it if I can. So
bring in Rocha.
Get him. Come on
Get
in.
him.
Let's go.
Hey, thank you so much to Logan Burton 10 for subscribing at tier 1.
Oh, thank you, Logan.
Thank you so much. Currently on a 5-month streak. Look at that.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You got some very dedicated viewers.
And good to see Travis Earl in here saying, hey, I'm finally twitched out. He's hanging out with us live today. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate it madly. The show's been, kind of because of our schedules, it's kind of been on and off, but we're trying to be a little bit more consistent as we swing into 2022 for sure. But, the holidays are like this. Both of our schedules can be busy. The screenings were dropping like flies now, it was insane how many screenings we were getting invited to. So it just is the way it is right now. And it's tough during award season. You want to see everything so you can vote and everything like that. And we both voted in the HCA awards. So good to see that happening. But have you seen, we're going to get it. Well, maybe let's jump into our stories here.
For later.
Later. But yeah, send in bits, send in questions, send in Streamlabs, Super Chats, whatever you want to send in. We'll answer them as we go along. Wendy, what's our first story here that we're talking about today?
The first story is Wendy finally upgraded from her iPhone 7 I mailed that back, and now I've caught up with the rest of society, and I am on the iPhone 13 Pro.
Wait.
Finally.
Stop for a second. You mailed the iPhone 7 back? It probably cost you more to mail it than they were
Oh no,
going
it's
to
a
give you
return
for
label
it.
that they give me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. But
Did
you know
you-
how much it you know how you do a trade-in? So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
get a discount on the new phone?
Yeah.
How much do you think the iPhone 7 was worth
Maybe
as deemed by phone company?
$12.50. Maybe $12.50.
Oh, that's lowballing it. A little higher.
Whoa. A little higher than that.
A little bit,
Okay.
yeah.
$75.
Too high. $34.
$34.
On the nose.
Hey, it's something. It's something. Take a little bit off.
That's not the real
$34.
story. I just wanted to, because I know we had joked about before how how is she still on the iPhone 7? Dude, the camera is amazing.
Oh, I've heard from the iPhone 13. Oh, yeah.
What the heck? I was like, why is this? I don't even like looking at myself in my photos because now it's too high def. I'm like,
everything apart.
I don't want to see that.
Photoshop.
Blur everything out.
I might be taking a look. I mean, the Verizon, tomorrow's the weekend. The Verizon store is literally 2 minutes from the house. I might drive up there and see what they'll give me for the iPhone 12, trade it into the iPhone 13.
And you're going to do the 13 Max Pro?
Max Pro, because I've got the 12 Pro Max or Max Pro. So maybe it's not that much of a difference to trade it in and get the new one and get the better camera. But you never know. So I'll take a look. And I've got a friend who works at Apple, so maybe there's a little bit of a discount I could get if I went that route instead and still connected into Verizon. We shall see for sure. But I'm happy you're upgraded. It's awesome. I love that you love the phone. You're probably surprised how quick everything is now on your phone.
Oh yeah, like everything used to crash before. Like Instagram, I would write out this whole description. If I didn't copy and paste, it would lose the whole thing. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. Just 2 hashtags. I'm not writing all of that over. Yeah, it was awful.
Oh, that's something I'm dealing with Google Chrome. Apparently, with Twitter right now, if you go to another tab and you scroll down that tab to read something, when you go back to your Twitter, if you've happened to save, if you're going to link something, the Twitter on its own refreshes and totally erases what you just wrote. And that's happened to me 3 or 4 times. And the screams, my girlfriend has come in a couple of times, like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not okay."
What happened?
They erased 280 characters, for God's sakes, without my permission. So
How dare they?
How dare they?
I was so weird. Yeah,
this was Shakespeare level-esque, and they erased it. Yeah.
Imagine coming out of a screening and you're being told your social embargo is lifted, so you can actually, tweet, and then you don't, and then you do, but then before you send it, your app crashes, and you have to do the whole thing over. You're like, what did I write?
I don't even remember what I wrote.
I always put it down on the notes section first.
Yeah, smart.
And then I copy and paste, and then I'm like, oh, it doesn't fit. Cool.
I just do a Word doc, but when I'm on my phone, I can't actually. The notes thing makes sense. Absolutely. All right, we're going to get into some entertainment stories, talk about some stuff. We're only going to keep the show to an hour, so we got 50 minutes left. If you want to send some stuff in or whatever as we go along, please feel free. But we're going to talk a little entertainment news, and then at the end of the show, give you our recommendations and reviews for things that are coming out or are out this weekend. Wendy, where shall we start?
Let's go ahead and start with some Amandla Steinberg news. So she is being eyed for the lead role in the upcoming Disney Plus series, Star Wars Acolyte. So this is very exciting. If you haven't got to know Amandla's work, you can watch The Hate U Give. You can watch Dear Evan Hansen. There's a bunch of other stuff that I'm missing, but their work is phenomenal.
Yeah.
From the very first time I saw The Hate U Give, I thought, oh, they're going to be a star. And look at it now. They're in talks for Star Wars to lead in the series. And I wonder, because the detail on the character is obviously being kept secret for the time being, but an acolyte, technically in the Star Wars universe, it typically refers to someone who trains under a Force user, but also typically kind of more aligned with the dark side, the Sith side of things. So this is going to be very interesting, because I feel like a lot of the times, even though Star Wars have both great heroes and villains, I feel like a lot of the people kind of look at, the heroes more. And now we have a show that's going to be based on the dark side, the Sith side of things. Yeah. And I'm very, very interested. I can't wait to see what type of character they're going to play. Are they getting one lightsaber or 2?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited.
A detachable Asajj Ventress type.
Oh, that's a great point. Oh, that's
Yeah.
an excellent one. I hadn't thought about that. That is great. And look, Amandla Steinberg is a fantastic performer. They do so well in so many different projects. And yes, a name that has been building over the last few years with all the work that they've been doing in numerous different types of genres. So now to kind of get your shot and earn your shot and land your shot to get to lead a Star Wars project like this, I think is brilliant. And Wendy, yet another person of color, they of color, leading a franchise here, leading a TV show here with Diego Luna with Cassian Andor series, Rosario Dawson with the Ahsoka series, and now you got here Amandla Steinberg leading the Acolyte series, and it's the first one that's really addressing this idea of a Sith Lord, this idea of the dark side, this idea of that. Will this be a person that is a villain, but we will have to kind of navigate our own feelings about their journey through their training and into eventually probably becoming a Sith Lord? Or as you said, will it be an Asajj Ventress situation where she does get trained, or they did get trained, they become the Sith Lord, and then change when they see how evil it actually is, they move over and become a Jedi so that you can cheer for them. That's a possibility as well. But I think this is brilliant. They've landed a fantastic performer who's incredibly talented and who can carry a show like this because of their experience in the industry. So to me, overall, this is a great news. And the Illuminati is saying, according to their sources, she's playing a character called Aura, but that doesn't, or they're playing a character called Aura, but it doesn't mean that that's true. That could be a smokescreen to kind of get you to think about other things. There may be a more
Cool
legendary
name,
character.
though.
Yeah, it is a cool name, but it may be a more legendary character that they are playing for sure.
Yeah, and you wonder who is the Sith Lord they're
Yeah,
training under because of the rule of two.
right.
So I'm so curious, and just for anybody who's curious about when within the Star Wars timeline when it takes place, this is going to take place in the final days of the High Republic era of the Star Wars timeline, and it's going to focus on an emergence of the secretive dark side power. So for context, as written by Variety, the High Republic era is said to have ended about 50 years prior to the events of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
So this is pre lots of things. Pre lots of. I guess it's time to kind of get into the High Republic stuff.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if you saw that trailer from last night. What is it?
The Eclipse.
Yeah, the Eclipse trailer. I almost did a trailer reaction for it, but I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Like my trailer reaction would just be going for 3.5 minutes.
I think that's all of us.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't know what to say. Thanks for watching. It just wouldn't be it. But it was incredible. And that's kind of got a High Republic storyline to it as well. So this having a High Republic storyline is very interesting as well. So I'm glad they're exploring, these other time frames within the Star Wars universe. I had a little battle with the Geek Buddies the other day because they were all like, well, I'm glad we're moving away from the Skywalker saga. I'm like, we're not moving away from the Skywalker
We're going
saga.
towards it.
Yeah, we're going towards it because that's the frustrating part of this whole thing is people say that we're moving. No, Kenobi is set right around the time Luke is on Tatooine. Ahsoka is set around the time with after Anakin or around Anakin. And Cassian Andor, that's set during the Republic. So a Skywalker is alive and in power, or at least coming up in power through all these shows. So we haven't 100% walked away from Skywalker saga. We jump into High Republic, that's fully walking away from the Skywalker saga. So these are the shows that I'm more interested to see how they do and how they work. Even Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian are still connected to the Skywalker timeline. So these are more out there, and I'm excited for that for sure.
Yeah, this is going to be fun.
Yeah, and from Russian Doll creator Leslie Headland, who a lot of people love that Russian Doll series.
Yeah.
With Natasha,
I think, didn't you talk to Charlie? Oh, the actor's name is
Natasha
escaping me. No, the actor. I thought you did like a one-on-one with.
I probably did.
I feel like you, but this was like so many years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I just
you've done so many.
I don't mean
You've done so many at this point. Sorry.
Oh, how dare you? I've done so many. You asked me to remember these people. Charlie Barnett? No, I don't think I've talked to Charlie Barnett. I don't think I did one with Charlie Barnett, but
Really?
I wish I
Okay.
had. I don't recall ever doing one with Charlie Barnett, but
Mhm.
I wish I had. But I know my girlfriend loves that series, so
Yeah, it's
I've got to
excellent.
watch it at some point. It's on Netflix, I think. So,
Yeah. Watch it now and get familiar maybe with the showrunner's, like,
oh
style.
yeah,
It
yeah.
just it can give you a little bit of hint of into what we may or may not see in Acolyte.
Yeah, for sure. Someone says, "Hey, John, Arturo Zamorano says, John, West Side Story and Encanto." Well, first of all, I don't want to compare Latino-led films to each other. When we get thousands and thousands of Latino-led films from the studios, then I'll be able to compare because then the pendulum will have swung back a little bit more the other way. Here's what I'll say: they're both good movies. Go see both of them. They're both excellent, in my opinion. I think one is a best picture, in my opinion,
Mhm.
right now for me, on the live action side, and one is a best animated feature on the animated side. That's what I would tell you. And I would love it if at the end of the year or when these awards start coming out, it's the two Latino-led films that win Best Picture and Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. That would be
That'd
fantastic.
be
And
cool.
right, and
That'd be
certainly
cool.
signal a change for sure.
And yeah,
Um,
and the two stories are the stories are very, very different. One has a
yes,
more magical type of a deal to it. I think the only similarities is it is there's it's a Latino based story.
yeah, yeah,
And although one is set in a little bit more of a real world, the other one's literally in a magical encanto.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
And then great talent singing and all that stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know if I told you this. So for
Oh,
the press screening for Encanto,
yeah.
Dustin wasn't able to go. He was actually getting a root canal.
Oof.
So yeah, I know. So he's like, I can't go. And I was like, well, it's his first one ever. So he's like, what can I expect? I'm like, pain.
Yeah, yeah, a lot of
Expect
pain.
pain. Um, and so I asked my friend Diana, who's
Yeah.
Colombian,
Oh,
and I said, "There's this is what this movie is about. Would you be interested in seeing it?" She's like, "Yes." And just I kind of watched both the movie and her
oh,
reaction out
yeah,
of kind
right.
of like the side, and just the pride was oozing out of her, and the
Wow.
nostalgia
Yep.
was oozing out of her because she hadn't been in Colombia since she was a little girl. So she
Yeah,
would, when she saw the food, she's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" And then we talked about how it made her feel afterwards, and she just this is who the movie's for, and I
yeah,
think that's awesome.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And we'll see. And go see West Side Story because West Side Story has only made $800,000 last night, according to the trades this morning. So hopefully this weekend it does meet its expectations of like 15 to 20 million for an opening weekend. Remember that film cost 100 million to make, so I hope it
I
does
can
its
see
money.
why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when you see it, you'll see why.
Yeah.
All right, what's our next story here, Wendy? What else are we talking about?
I guess we can 3, 2, 1. Let's jam to Cowboy Bebop. Unfortunately, it's been canceled by
Yeah.
Netflix just after one season, and the Hollywood Reporter is reporting this as an exclusive that the streamer has canceled the anime adaptation of the space western after its premiere less than a month ago. I can't believe
Yeah.
it's only less than a month ago. I was very excited for the series, very excited to see John Cho
Yeah.
stepping in the shoes of Spike, but they canceled it. It was very, very hype, and it just, I believe it was a little disappointing as far as the
Mhm.
reception goes. So the 10 episodes only garnered about 46% positive critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is like an aggregator.
Yeah.
But the fans, just kind of to give you guys both of the comparisons on both sides, the fans gave the show a 56%
Oof.
positive audience score. Sometimes you usually see those numbers a bit more skewed, but this
Yeah.
time I think the unfortunately fans and critics alike did not, they I guess agreed
Hmm.
that they didn't like Cowboy Bebop, which is a bummer because the story is so great. I hope people still now takes the time, now that they're aware of a property called Cowboy Bebop, they
Yeah.
will go and take this time to watch the anime because it's so good.
Right.
And anime, to live action was never going to be easy. It's
Yeah.
not easy. They if they couldn't do it with, in my opinion, with Death Note,
Yeah.
then they would have a hard time. But I had high hopes because I was liking everything I saw, but there were some changes that they made and some things that they tried very hard to make it almost, shot for shot from the anime, which I can appreciate.
Right.
But you can appreciate it and also acknowledging that some parts of it didn't work.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation because I mean this was something that people were hyping up like crazy. I know we were crazy excited on the show. A lot of people were excited as well out there in social media land. And then the reviews started pouring in. And when the reviews started pouring in, I remember Rafael Montemayor, who I follow now, who's the one of the editors over there, Collider, great to see a Latino editor there. He stated how much he didn't like the show, and I was shocked because I know Rafael is a pretty good critic in terms of giving something a little more space, giving something a little more grace, and the fact that he just was really kind of like not liking it at all surprised me, and I was like, oh no. And then the other reviews started pouring in. You're like, oh yeah, see, this is for whatever reason, A, they didn't make it work for the neutral people who'd never seen the anime, and then B, even the fans of it, as you pointed out by the fan score here, the audience score rather, even they were disappointed by what they had done with this translation onto live action. And a lot of people felt like there was no real style to it other than the style they were copying from the anime, and some of the changes in the characters they didn't like as well. Then felt like they were highlighting the villains more than the main characters as I was reading these reviews. So it's unfortunate. I mean, it would have been nice to have John Cho get a hit. And of course he tweeted once they announced the cancellation, he's like, I'm fine, everybody. I'm fine with the little gift.
I think John Cho is going to be just fine.
Yeah.
He was my favorite thing about the series, him and Ein. So, and I haven't made it all the way through to the end, but I do know a little, like a spoiler thing that happens at the end because I saw photos, because I forgot to mute Cowboy Bebop as a key. Yeah, whoopsie daisy. I was so focused on muting all the Spider-Man stuff that I forgot about all the other stuff. I was like, I can't know about Spider-Man. I don't want to know anything. So, so that part was spoiled for me. And I will say, I was like, oh, that translation definitely did not work from anime to live action.
Yeah,
unfortunate.
That's sad. It's sad. A lot of good people involved in the production. And it's sad to see it go. So, well, but maybe it's a cautionary tale too. Like these anime translations to live action, as you mentioned with Death Note, and this one, it's not an easy road. It's not an easy road. Not a lot of people can get to it, which makes me worried about Taika Waititi's Akira. If he's going to get that right or not, doing it as a live action feature film, I don't know. We'll
see. Fingers crossed, though. I still have hope.
Yeah, we shall see. All right, what's our next thing here, Wendy?
Did you see the trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
That I did.
Oh my goodness. So I was surprised. Well, I guess not really, because the Game Awards was last night. This being a video game movie and the first one being a success, it definitely makes sense that they wanted to show off the official trailer, during the awards. And I'm just so happy. Like, who knew? Because remember the very first iteration of Sonic? And we're all kind of like,
send this back to the drawing board.
Right. Yeah, and they did some character redesign and combined with everything, putting it back together again. And they really just redesigned Sonic. It's not like they went back and reshot an entire film. Maybe they reshot some stuff, but not, all of it. But I am so happy to have two new additions. Well, they're not new to everybody who's played the Sonic game, but two characters added to the sequel, that being Tails and Knuckles, being voiced by the one and only Idris Elba, who sounds very, very intimidating. Somebody commented in our reaction video and said, do you think his voice sounds sexy? I'm like, well, I hadn't thought of it, but I think whenever Idris Elba speaks, he is sexy all the time, but I really don't want to put that kind of a note on a character in a video game. You know what I mean? It's just Knuckles, and I'm happy that he's here to kind of be the antagonist to Sonic. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, me too. It was great to see Jim Carrey coming back. Love him playing with the mustache. He looks even more dialed into the rhythm of this franchise and this film, right? He's not doing some kind of commentary on the fact that he's even in this movie like he did with Kick-Ass. This is him totally committing to this. It looks very fun. It looks so interesting. This one looks even more exciting to me than the first one did, to be honest with you, in terms of the trailer. I think they're expanding the world out like you're supposed to in a sequel, and making the event and bringing more people in for the adventure. So that's great. And bringing these characters that everybody loves from the video games that weren't in the first film back to be a part of this. And that is cool. as hell. So I'm so down. And of course, as you mentioned, Idris Elba. I mean, you can't go wrong with Idris Elba, for God's sakes. I mean, Idris Elba and Jim Carrey against your Sonic. That's a tough bill. That's a tough bill. So I dig it a lot, and I like that we get a little bit of James Marsden, but like it just feels like it's going to be very much his story, Sonic's story, and not necessarily James Marsden being too involved with this. So this will be fascinating for sure. But yeah, love it. Can't believe this is a success, Wendy. I mean, I really can't. Had no expectations this was going to do well. As you mentioned from the beginning, when there was all these complaints, I just didn't think it was going to survive. And damn if it hasn't, you know?
Yeah. And let us know, chat, when while we're thinking about the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 trailer. And I know this is obviously a while out. We won't be getting this film until April of 2022, but the first one being a success, I don't see any reason why the second one wouldn't be as much of a hit, if not better, because you've got 2 additional characters, very iconic characters. Now, who would you like to see make a cameo, or not a cameo, but just be, put into the movie? Where do you want the third one to go, depending on where we finish with this one? Because they did show off I think it's the Chaos Crystal, the Emerald.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, a couple times.
So I was like, okay. I mean, I feel like I need to whip out the game just so I kind of remember the story. It's been a minute.
Right. And shout out to Colleen O'Shaughnessy, who was the voice of Tails as well, doing a nice little. She had a few seconds on screen in that plane, so shout out to her for sure. She works a lot in voiceover, so shout out to her.
I love it.
All right, so and that's coming. When's that coming? That's coming in next year in April.
Yeah,
April. Wow, it's around the corner.
Isn't that kind of crazy? Yeah. I remember a while ago we were thinking, oh, we're never gonna get to see Spider-Man No Way Home because it got pushed back, and now it is weeks out. Like you and I are seeing it, I think, next Monday.
Early next week. Yes, you Monday, me Tuesday. Yeah, absolutely.
So very excited.
I got to block all those names.
Block the keywords. Until you've seen it.
Yeah, I might just leave my phone on the side of the desk for a whole day until I.
Can you not touch your phone? Just don't go on social media.
It'd be a good challenge. I think it'd be a nice challenge, to be honest with you. We'll see if I can do it. We'll see.
It'll be a nice mental like health break.
Right?
Because phones can be toxic too. I feel like they're just always in at your face. You're like,
agreed. It's a Wendy trying to give away the plot to a certain movie. Anyway, all right. So what's our next story here, Wendy? And please send in any Streamlabs super chats you guys have that you want us to answer. We'll be down to answer them for sure. What do you got there?
So kind of following the same theme as video game movies, we're taking a look at Pablo Schreiber suiting up as Master Chief in the very first Halo series image. And I think it's funny because our last 3 topics, this one, the Sonic trailer, and Cowboy Bebop, all technically has to do with some sort of adaptation from whether it's an anime or video game to live action. But how can you not talk about it? It's Halo. You've at least, if you haven't played it, you've at least heard about it. So this seems to be like the time, the year for all the sci-fi fantasy adaptation from book to live action, anime to live action video game. So for this one, this is the show's first official teaser that they showed in the Game Award, and then they also, Entertainment Weekly, I believe, also released one of the first official images from the Halo series, which, by the way, the series will be streaming on Paramount TV. Nope, that's not what it's called. Paramount Plus.
I thought it was on Showtime. Is it on Paramount Plus? Okay.
I think it's Paramount Plus. I will do a quick.
No, it's Paramount Plus. Yes.
Okay. I was like,
2022. Yep.
It's like maybe it would have been HBO, but So we got Pablo Schreiber. He's suiting up as John, aka Master Chief, who will be the protagonist of the show, probably. So he also did say that playing this role was a Herculean task. Is it the suit, or is it the amount of who knows? Like, saying that sounds like it's a lot. He's not a new actor. He's been in, if you watched Orange is the New Black, if you've watched American Gods, he's been in both. 2 very different type of characters. Really fantastic. But he said, he said this job required a lot of intense preparation, physically, mentally, and I think it makes sense because there's a lot of pressure in playing such an iconic, hero or character such as Master Chief. some people have been playing Halo, still probably plays Halo till today. So,
Oh yeah.
it's one of those things you have to. I bet you he's played all the games. I bet you he made sure that he is, training to stay fit for the role.
Yes.
And that suit's no joke to have to be in that suit for who knows how many hours in a day.
Yeah, look at that. That's the suit there. And that's the look from exclusively from Entertainment Weekly.
Ooh, it looks so good.
I know it looks pretty badass. You can't really see his face because of the reflection in the visor, but that's what it looks like. And it looks fantastic. And the 50-second teaser doesn't give you too much, but enough to give you an idea of what the show is all about. And I like it. And I love Pablo Schreiber. He is Liev Schreiber's brother, younger brother. And whenever he's popped up in anything, I mean, I've been watching him on Law and Order episodes. That's how far back I go with Pablo. So to seeing how he's grown his career and the interesting films he pops up in and the interesting roles he takes in these TV shows, it's great to see him now taking on this big role. And look, the way he speaks about it, as you alluded to, Wendy, he said, it's a tough situation. It was a lot on my back. Getting up in the morning, go work out, go shoot, eat, come back home, work out again, and repeat. And he goes, it was one of the most grueling shoots, but it's supposed to be. So at least there's some respect here for the process, respect for the the weight of what he's bringing to life here, and the responsibility he has. So those are all really great quotes that he delivered in terms of his preparation to play this character. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's good.
Me too. Fingers crossed that it'll be good. It's not going to get canceled after one season. Because if you think Cowboy Bebop was popular, boy.
Yeah, true. And also throw in Mortal Kombat. Everyone thought that was going to be like a great new approach, blah, blah, blah. And the film comes out and was an absolute dud. So you hope they don't make that mistake here on Paramount Plus. And, beyond the Star Trek stuff, I don't know that Paramount Plus has been making, well, I guess what do you call did anyone see the Jeremy Renner Mayor of Kingstown or whatever it was? I don't know anybody that saw that. So I don't know how much new content or original content is getting a lot of love. I guess Yellowstone counts. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's that approach. And there is a Yellowstone prequel that is apparently coming out soon. So maybe that's part of where they're moving towards. Maybe that approach will help in this approach as well. So we shall see. For sure.
And also it's funny, Travis Earl in the chat brings up a good point that this is not like the first time the Halo series is being worked on. There's been several versions. So he says Blomkamp was going to do an adaptation at one point. I do remember that. Yeah. After Chappie, I am glad it fell through, says Travis.
Come on. There are plenty of people who like Chappie. There are a lot of people who like Chappie. So, Easy, Travis. Oh, yeah. And there's other actors involved as we should name them here. Where is it? Natasha McElhone. Is that correct on that?
I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. I thought I saw some other characters. I apologize here. I thought I saw other characters.
Let me just, I think you're right. Let me just go ahead and go to the bottom of the article.
No, yeah, there it is.
I think that's there. Natasha, McCone, there's Spokane Woodbine, Shabana Azim.
Yep. Azmi, I think it's Azmi. Shabana Azmi, yeah.
And Natasha Kolzak. Yeah. Olive Gray and Yerin Ha.
Yeah, there you go. And Jen Taylor is Cortana. So yeah, it's coming sometime in 2022. They haven't announced a release date yet. So all right, let's get into some trending stuff, Wendy. What's trending?
Hawkeye is trending. This show, we're only on episode 4, and and I know we only have 2 more left because it's a very short season for Hawkeye. Yeah. Maybe they could have. I feel like they could have extended it to maybe just 1 extra episode. But you know what? If they knew what they were doing, it sounds like everything's planned out already. Like they're introducing us. Like they're not holding everything until the final episode. Like sure, the first 2 episodes were a bit of a setting up for us to learn who Kate is, where she comes from, how she meets, Clint, and kind of what his story is, where he is at this time, and like the whole like gotta get home to the family for Christmas. But what throws the Ronin suit, resurfacing obviously through a huge wrench in his Christmas plans. But now episode 3, we saw literally a single flick of a wrist cameo of one who we can assume it is Kingpin. They call him Uncle for now. Sharing the scene with young Maya. But in this one, and this, it's honestly, it shouldn't be a surprise because it was already sort of teed up for us at the end of Black Widow there by
Yeah.
Val, that final conversation that she has with Yelena. So we knew she was going to show up, but it was a matter of when. Though that rooftop scene was so spectacular.
Oh yeah, it was badass.
It was so good. The second Hawkeye said, Maya's on the roof with me, and I was like, how is that possible? And I was like, doppelgangers? What kind of magic is this? And it really took me a second, I think, until they went back onto the roof and I saw the way she was fighting. Obviously, couldn't see her face. And I was like, that's Widow. That's Widow style. And I wonder, I would pay to be inside Clint Burton's brain right there and then, because he knows Natasha's fighting style, that training.
Right.
That's like one of his best friends. So to be fighting somebody who has the same training, but knowing that he watched her die.
Right.
Who is this? And he has no idea Natasha had a sister.
Yeah.
No idea that this woman thinks he is responsible for her sister's death.
Right.
It's going to be a real interesting conversation.
Yeah, his line signs were, they've sent a Black Widow assassin. Playtime is over. This has become really serious really quickly. You can't be here. You can't be a part of this, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, absolutely sensing that there's some connections here to Natasha. And Black Widow was all through this episode. I mean, just hanging over this episode 4. Totally, Clint revealing what happened between him and Natasha and how that it's affected him when he's talking to Kate. And then later when Kate is hanging by that repelling wire or whatever cord, and he is literally holding her like he was holding Natasha and Boromir, and ends up cutting that cord literally and figuratively to tell her to get out of here. She doesn't listen and runs back up there. And then they have that interaction. So yeah, so great to see Yelena be a part of this. So great to see Kate be a part of this. So, and we might've been watching, Wendy, 3 future Avengers on the roof fighting 100%. Against, right, an older Avenger there in Kate and Echo and Maya. So we might, Maya's Echo, but Kate and Yelena. So it could have been all 3 of them who may become future Avengers. And either Clint goes and becomes the head of West Coast Avengers, or maybe he's kind of a mentor. Yeah. Because I mean, we've seen the Moira Brandon stuff. She's the one that sold her estate so that they could have the West Coast Avengers headquarters from her place. So
you know what I was thinking as you were saying that, like, we could be seeing the future of seeing, 3 young Avengers fighting. And I was just thinking, going back to Clint's a scene earlier with him where he looked in the freezer, he used those daiquiri packs as eye packs. I imagine after this fight, he's going to be like, he gets in the apartment, he's like, so much pain. And these like younger, fighters are just going to be like, take a little nap, and they spring up the next morning. They're like, we're great. They're not going to feel anything. He's like, oh.
Yeah, all wrapped up. So for sure. Yeah. And I mean, look, introducing the idea of Kingpin is so fascinating. That was absolutely Vincent D'Onofrio laughing. I don't care what anybody says. My ear is very attuned to voices. And that is totally Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. And they keep saying the big guy. So, I mean, that just seems
what other big guy do we know?
Exactly.
The Hulk, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not going to be running organized crime.
Nope.
And someone asked here, do we think Eleanor Bishop, do you think Kate's mom will end up being villain by episode 6? Oh yeah, she's a villain in the comics, so it wouldn't be surprising. But the real X factor is Jack Duquesne. What is Jack Duquesne's role in all of this? We did our spoiler review earlier today, and the Geek Buddies is up on the channel, the Outlaw Nation channel now, and Shannon speculated that he may be a patsy in all of this, and it's really Eleanor that's kind of moving everything around.
I think he's the fall guy.
Yeah, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I think he's good-natured. I think he's a little bit hungry for money, and a little bit of power, as you can see the conversation that he had with Armand. Yeah. He probably didn't kill Armand, like, as much as like there is a conflict between the two.
Right.
It just seems a little like, if you want to go by the whodunit rules, it's a little too obvious.
Yeah.
And with the way, so if you go back to episode, get ready, guys, strap in. Here's Wendy's crazy, never accurate, never actually comes true theories, but I like to talk about them anyways because it's fun. Yeah. I like to speculate. So at the very beginning, when we see young Kate, she's listening to a conversation that mom and dad are having about them being in debt. Obviously, the marriage is kind of like not going great. So one of 2 things. Dustin thinks the dad faked his death so that Eleanor could collect the insurance money. I think mom killed dad because she maybe already have some sort of a tie with the crime syndicate there, who we don't know. This is speculation. In order to collect the money, but then to find out the money is somehow locked to Kate because she's 22 and not 25. So she's a trust fund anything. You don't get that until 25, which is why she said to Hawkeye, you keep her safe because she means everything to me.
Yeah.
And that doesn't just mean that's my daughter and I love her. And I don't doubt that she has tremendous love for her daughter. But I think there's also other benefits to making sure Kate is always safe.
Yeah. I think that's an excellent point you make. And remember, Armand didn't make it out of episode 1, and he warned Kate that he did not like Eleanor for his son. And so there might be something more dancing around on this. And Jack Duquesne, for those of you who don't know the comics that well, he is the swordsman in the comics, and he is Hawkeye's mentor in the comics.
With the mustache too.
Yeah, the mustache. I said it looks like Paul F. Tompkins now. He's getting into that Paul F. Tompkins look. But like he's a mentor to Hawkeye in the comics. They're clearly not having that relationship in this version of Hawkeye, but it's working so well. The conversations with Kate Bishop and Clint Barton are really deepening every episode. The connection is deepening every episode. And look, we got something with Linda Cardellini as Hawkeye's wife. A lot of people have been speculating she might be Mockingbird, which has pissed off the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans who love Adrian Palicki as Mockingbird.
No, right. That's right.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not MCU canon. They're not going to make it MCU canon, people. Y'all need to let it go, all you Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fans. There's no way they're going to make it canon. Yeah, is there elements of it that are canon? Sure, we saw that bald dude in Captain America and whatever, who was kind of a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, or he was a Hydra agent in S.H.I.E.L.D., the bald dude with glasses. We saw him, sure, but they have not come close to making that entire thing canon, because if they do, then Ghost Rider is already in the mix. All these people are in the mix, so I really doubt they'll go the Palicki route for Mockingbird. So yeah.
Oh man, I forgot about that. I actually love that. I really like that show.
What about the LARPers? Wendy, in the Matt Fraction comic, some of these LARPers die because the LARPers are essentially sitting in for the residents of the building that Hawkeye owns in the Matt Fraction run. He does not own the building in this version.
Right.
And Grills dies in the comics. So is Grills going to die in this situation?
That'd be very sad. I like him a lot.
Yeah, me too. I like his voice a lot too. He's got a good voice. Nice deep bass.
I know he's like, I can see voiceover work for him later on as well.
Oh yeah.
Right? He once you're in the Disney Marvel family, you're in for life, I feel like. Yeah. So he's going to be voicing over some other Disney Plus animated shows for sure. And thank you to Brian Brawler for cheering 100 bits. Who says, I like the show. Love Clark Craig as Coulson. Can we please bring back Coulson? We all miss Coulson.
Yeah, Coulson. More lives than Darth Maul, Coulson. It's incredible. You can't kill him. He just keeps coming back all the time. Steve Calderon says, do you think we'll see Julie Louis-Dreyfus make a cameo in Hawkeye? Possibly. I don't know if we'll see a cameo, but we might hear her voice. That's what I think is possible.
On the phone with Eleanor, maybe.
Yeah, or maybe with Yelena, when Yelena says, wait a minute, you've been jerking me around. He didn't kill Black Widow. There was another reason why this all went down. So I think Kate and Yelena are going to have a come to Jesus moment conversation.
They're going to be BFFs. I can see it. Their personalities is made for that.
Oh God, yes.
So cute. And then before we move on to the next topic, I just want to point out, you were saying that there are a lot of nods to Natasha throughout this episode, and certainly definitely sprinkled throughout the series for sure, because obviously a big part of Clint's life. But the parallel of when Kate got thrown over the building, and Yelena made sure that no one else was going to get hurt, because her target's Clint and Clint only. So she made sure that Kate was, strapped in before she got tossed over. But that the music kicked in, of the same music that they were on Whoville, and both ladies had a three-word line. Natasha's was "Let me go," and Kate's was "Pull me up."
Right.
That's crazy. That's good. There's a show design right there. That's good writing. I
agree.
That.
And one more connective tissue here, Wendy. Remember, he's saying my greatest shot is the shot I didn't take when I was sent to go kill Natasha, but I didn't take the shot because I sensed she wanted to get out. Kate has the shot on Yelena and doesn't take it. So there's that connective tissue as well between the Hawkeyes, the new Hawkeye and the new Black Widow. So very interesting to see it happening. So exciting stuff. And I'm sad it's going to end in 2 weeks because I'm loving this show.
They're saying episode 5 is going to be bananas. Kingpin's coming in, I think.
Bananas.
Mephisto is coming to town. Never. Put that theory to bed.
Mephisto Kingpin.
Good God.
Oh, Yelena should get her own spinoff. Absolutely, Travis. But I think they're saving Florence Pugh, a very accomplished theatrical actress, for the theatrical films. She'll do cameos, but they're saving her for a big run for sure. All right, let's what if it's Mephisto posing as Kingpin? Get out of here.
The theory still lives.
We're on the K-pop corner. What do we got going on here, Wendy? What's going on?
A couple of bullet points here. We're in Christmas time now. Stray Kids have released their mini Christmas album. It's got 4 songs on it. One full English song, which is called Domino, which you can find on their No Easy album. But they have, this is the most like boppin' Christmas song I've ever heard, which doesn't even talk about Christmas in a good light. It's called Christmas Evil, EVEL, and talking about why do I want to get presents for Christmas, and when I travel out there, my shoes and socks are, soaked to the bones from the snow, and it's very interesting, but it's a bop. I keep listening to it.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I'll say. This is one of those first ones that you've sent me where I've been like, I don't know if I 100% like it, but I don't not like it. I'm just trying to figure, because it's an unusual approach to K-pop, right? I'm used to hearing these more kind of boy band vibes or girl band vibes, or kind of Britney Spears vibes or whatever, or Aguilera vibes. This one is more kind of like when the Beastie Boys started playing their own instruments on like Sabotage. That's what it feels like to me. And of course, these are all accomplished musicians, clearly, but I don't know if I like the song. It's an unusual song. So like Happy Death Day and, Happy Worst Day. I mean, it's like,
that's extraordinary. Yeah, Extraordinary Heroes. Yeah. And that's why I wanted to put that in here. I like that I am seeing K-pop bands not coming out. And again, there's nothing wrong with the, the boy groups and the girl groups that we've gotten so far, kind of more leaning towards pop of the K-pop. But, a couple of bands like Extraordinary Heroes coming out with Happy Death Day. It was so punk. And I was like, whoa. Yeah. What is this? I loved it because they're not relying on, production value for the music video itself is still really amazing. I sent you just a regular raw first performance because they're a band. So I thought that I would, but this was just, the sound was so cool. There's also another artist under the the Black Label brand. His name is Loren, Loren, and has a couple of songs, which is also a little bit more in the rock punk genre. Right. And I'm just liking that it's, they're starting to break away little by little of like the very produced, very well choreographed, well matched song and dance type. And they also, are giving the spotlight to other musicians, who play their own instruments, write their own songs and things like that. And there's a lot of, I think for groups like these, Extraordinary Heroes would be, it'll give them more flexibility later on. And who's not to say they're not gonna like drop their instruments in the next music video and dance their heart out, because like I feel like they're just talented all around, because you have to be trained to do all of these things. So it wouldn't be surprising to me, but I love that for their debut. This group is very, very new. They literally debuted on December 6th, 2021.
Wow. Yeah.
They just debuted under the JYP Entertainment brand. So, they're actually under the sub-label Studio J, but I like them. I'm going to keep an eye on them. They're very young. I love to see where they grow, but, it brings me back to like, when I used to go to shows and stuff, like punk shows. brought me right back to it. You would have never known if I told you. Like, Wendy likes what kind of music?
Yeah, Wendy gets down. I should amend my comment. Yeah, the Stray Kids Christmas Evil song is good. I like that song. It was the Extraordinary Heroes that was a little weird for me to kind of come around as a K-pop song. So I'm gonna give it a few more listens to see how I fully feel about it. But the Christmas Evil song, I was bopping to that shit. So I like that. It was good stuff, good beat, good movement for sure. So great stuff happening, and it's expanding so much in this K-pop world as it becomes more and more successful. Wendy, you must be excited to see it. Someone who's been a fan of K-pop for a while, you must be excited to see how it's expanding and kind of growing by leaps and bounds, and more artists coming into it to give new flavors in as well.
Absolutely. I feel a little hole in my heart now that BTS is no longer in the United States.
Oh, right.
I'm a little sad. I'm sure Laura Sirico is more sad than me. She went to all 4 days of their concert. Here's what she did. She went to see all the 4 concerts at the SoFi Stadium. I know Brett Sheridan went as well, and I'm very jealous.
What? Brett Sheridan went?
His wife is Army, so she was like, "You're coming with," and he's like, "Okay," and he's like, "I obviously don't know the songs. I don't understand Korean." He goes, "But man," he said, "I've never seen a group perform for the entire one starting on time. That's how we do it in K-pop.
Respect."
He said, "Starting on time and perform at 110%." From beginning to end. He's like, "I've never seen more enthusiastic fans." I'm like, welcome to K-pop, man. Welcome to Army. Like this is like, you know, they have fan chants and things like that. So, but Laura, our friend of the show, she went to all 4 days of the BTS Permission to Dance on Stage concert. She also went to the Jingle Jam, whatever
Jingle Ball.
Yes, that one BTS had a 10-minute performance, so she went to that. She also went and did they have a little appearance coming up. They, you know, appeared on the James Corden show, but they also did the BTS on the sidewalk, like the crosswalk here performance type of thing that James Corden likes to do.
Yeah.
They did that as well. So I'm going to be looking for Laura because she went. So she just had like her December was like, or end of November to beginning of December is like dedicated to BTS.
She's out of control. It was great.
I mean, look, if you have the means to do it,
right?
Do it. I'm so proud of her. I'm a little jealous. I bought purple masks because you know how you have to wear masks indoors for the concert, even if you're vaccinated.
Right.
So I straight up innocently bought 2 packs of purple masks, BTS purple, because I straight up thought I had a chance in hell of getting one single ticket at least. I was like, I'm just gonna go by myself. I'll meet the other Army. It'll be great. If I may go with my little, like, you know, I'll wear the gear. I'll bring my light stick. It'll be fine. I tried for an hour. I'm like, forget this.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah. God, I kept on. I was like, you have a ticket. Oh, this is easy. Spin, kicked out. And it's just repeat for an hour. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. I don't need to go see it. It's fine.
Yeah. No, not Laura Kelly, Bryant Brawler. She's in Chicago, dog. She would not be going to a concert 4 days in a row. Not with her back issues.
Man.
She could not stand them concert. But no, Laura is cool. And she did a lot. I mean, she tweeted a lot about it. I was following through her tweets, her experiences and her love for that group. And then, of course, I loved her tweet afterwards going like, catching up on all the emails because I ignored everybody for 4 or 5 days. And now I'm just lost in this quagmire of stuff. So shout out to her. Maybe we should try to get her on next week or the next couple of weeks to hear her firsthand experience. Yeah, I want to hear what the experience was.
You know what? We should do that. Let's do that. I'll reach out.
Okay. All right.
I'd
love to have her on to talk about it.
And since we're talking about BTS, the band members, each individual members finally now have their own individual Instagram accounts.
Oh.
They all have it. And I think they reached like, I don't know how many millions already within like, I'm sure minutes. Let's see how many. I'm trying to think who is the most popular member. They're all great.
I got to join a K-pop group, man. Social media going.
Let's see. Let's look up. I'm gonna look up J-Hope because he's my bias.
All right.
I'm gonna look up J-Hope. Army J-Hope 21.1 million.
Oh my God. What?
21.1 million. Jin, which I believe is Laura's favorite, 21.4. We have to look up V, 24.3 million. RM, my other favorite, 21.1, and Jungkook, 23 million, and Jimin, 22.2. My God.
Wow.
Suga, 21.1. I'm going to follow all of them. Follow.
Just follow.
Just follow all of them. I haven't done it yet.
Oh, great stuff. Great stuff. All right. Well, let's get into the final part of the show here, Wendy. It's our reviews, recommendations, things we want to suggest for people to watch here going in the world of entertainment, going into their weekends. What have you got?
I just recently got to see West Side Story, which comes out today, in theater today. And if you're sitting here thinking, I don't need to go see West Side Story, it's a rehash, it's already been done on stage and in film.
Yeah.
Put that comment back into your pocket and just hold on to it. Watch the film and then revisit that comment and see if that's true. Because yes, it is a story that we've seen before. It's also the songs we've heard before. But Spielberg does such a tremendous job at bringing it back to life and giving us something similar yet slightly different.
Yeah.
I really, I knew it was going to be good, right? Steven Spielberg. I looked at the cast. I was like, okay, I already think I know who I'm gonna out of the cast, whose performance I'm really gonna enjoy. I was wrong about some of them. I was really right about some of them. But I couldn't believe even just the first 20 seconds of the opening shot of the construction site blew me away. I was like, what is this? I'm wowing at a construction site, like the flight, whatever you call it, whatever tracking shot they used. Phenomenal.
Right. Yeah, it's a remake of it's a version of the 1957 original stage musical. It is not a remake of the 1961 movie necessarily. It's a combo of both. So when you go in, you're getting Steven Spielberg's interpretation, his point of view. It's a grittier film. It's a harder edge film than that 1961 1960 West Side Story movie. And you're getting new choreography from Joshua Peck, incredible cinematography from Janusz Kaminski, costumes for days, and Spielberg directs the hell out of this thing. And Rachel Zegler is a phenomenon. I'm so tired, Wendy, of seeing all these end of year articles that are putting Alana Haim on the cover. We've seen young white actresses get elevated all the time, every damn year. Can we create space for a woman of color, a young actress of color like Rachel Zegler, to be on your cover, to be on the thumbnail, to be there? Haim is already successful. She's already a successful recording artist. She don't need the shine. Rachel Zegler is new. Give her the shine. She's incredible in this movie. And it's a movie that I think is just it's going to possibly win Best Picture now. I think it has the angle to Best Picture. Don't give me that licorice pizza nonsense. She's 25. He's 15 years old. That's statutory. Okay. It's statutory. So yeah, I love it. And I'm excited. And on my side, what else came out this, there's something else that comes out.
Yes.
This weekend that I want to throw in there.
Oops, I just typed in our doc.
Well, shows wise, I know now that the British Baking Show has their holiday ones out now. So if you're a British Baking Show fan, they've got the Christmas one and the New Year's Eve one out. You know, they shoot those in March, which is really funny, but both of them are out for you to watch if you want to watch them. I just finished The Sinner finally. So that's the final season because they announced they're canceling the series, but it's a great series. That final season ended really well. And there's a new show that's out now on HBO with David Thewlis and Olivia Colman playing this real life couple. It's a true crime, real life couple that killed her parents and then pretended the parents were still alive for 20 or 14 years and kept the lie going. And eventually the police catch up to them. It's supposed to be a fantastic series. So it's out now on HBO Max. At least the first episode is for y'all to watch. So I'm just throwing it out there.
Nice.
Jessica says, I love white women though. You would. Anyway. All right. And then what have we got here? Our recommendation or our recommendations for what's coming out? Anything you want to throw in there, Wendy?
It's not coming out. It is already out, but I just dove into, actually, Dustin and I filmed a reaction for episode 2 of The Wheel of Time. It is now on Amazon Prime. Don't worry about it if you haven't read the book. The last time I picked up one of the books was over 10 years ago. So it's almost kind of brand new again to me. And plus they are doing essentially like another turning of the wheel. So they are taking liberties to make certain changes, but not so much so that you're losing the core story. Right. And man, it's giving me very close. I don't know if I can put it quite up there with like first season GOT, but there's shocking moments where I was like, whoa, this just happened. Like, I don't know why, but I thought no, I take that back. I was going to say because they have young characters in this one, but then like Sansa and everybody was like babies in GOT and, you know, like young Brengan pushed out of the tower. So I take that comment back. But yeah, fantastic show. Don't worry about it if you haven't read the books. I don't think you will need it to understand it. So I would say go watch it. They release a new episode every Friday. On Amazon
and I was on my side. I was first of all, the Mariah Carey Christmas special is out, so y'all need to be watching that. She said she had to wear a 60-pound dress, so watch that to give her some love, for God's sakes. I love last year when we first moved into the place here. I remember that Christmas special came out in the last week of November, first week of December, and I remember just sitting there as the rain was falling and just watching that Christmas special with a big stupid grin on my face. Mariah knows what she's doing, people. Mariah knows what she's doing. She had Ariana Grande and I think Jennifer Hudson singing with her, and it was like, oh my God. But the other thing I recommend is a film I saw the other night. I was one of 2 people at a screening for this film. It's coming out on Apple TV on December 17th. It's called Swan Song.
Oh,
please put this on your calendar.
Mahershala?
Yeah, Mahershala Ali is fantastic in this film. Just such a quiet, soulful, reflective, contemplative performance. He's a guy who is dying of a disease. This is set in the future. And Glenn Close plays this doctor who has created this cloning technology where the person is essentially you and is a human being and essentially you, and your partner won't know the difference and your family and friends won't know the difference. And you'll be able to like die at their compound, and that clone will take your place in that person's in their lives, and they never have to experience your death from natural causes. And that clone gets its mind wiped after it absorbs your memories that it was ever a clone, so it fully believes that it's you. So it's a fascinating exploration of what that would be like to experience and the emotions you're going to experience as you're essentially handing off your family, the woman you love, the child you love, off to someone else who is essentially you, but not you at the same time. So just a fascinatingly intelligent film that I really enjoyed the other night. I bet no one's going to give it any awards love or anything like that, but it's one of those jewels that comes out every year. Those precious little small independent film jewels that you, when you watch it, you go, man, this is such a good experience. So I can't recommend it enough. So if you get a
love
chance,
that. I think I got a screener for it, so I should probably watch that.
I think you'll love it, Wendy. It actually is a
really sounds like it's right up my alley.
Yeah, and Naomi Harris is great as well in that. So, all right. I think anything else to say on this, or shall we roll?
I think that's it. That's good. You guys, go if you're comfortable going to theaters, go and enjoy West Side Story and any other films you may have missed. If you're not comfortable with it, then there's tons of things on Netflix to watch. Oh my gosh, I finished Hellbound. It's by the same creator for Train to Busan. And it basically it revolves around this decree that certain individuals have received that tells them that basically predicts their death, and they these hellbound looking, I call them hellbound creatures, I don't know their actual name, I don't remember it, but they actually come and they first like very brutally attack said person before sending them to hell via like a very fiery awful death. But it's very much like a human study on society and religion. And in a way, the show very much infuriated me because of the people who were literally killing innocent people. And saying that like this is the will of God. I was like, but you are not God. Even if you're a follower, you're not like so like and I think that's an interesting look into like human behavior and all that stuff. So if you can stomach it, I give it a watch, but you are going to feel, depending on where you stand on certain things, it frustrated me more than I expected. And I kind of pushed myself to like, I want to get to the end. And then I got to the end. I was like, so is there going to be season 2 or no? Because I feel like I kind of need it now.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Real quick, Brian Brawler did this send in a share. He said, do we think Yelena will find out about what really happened to her sister in Hawkeye? I say yes, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we both
I think at the end, we're going to have Clint back with his family. He's going to hear a knock on the door, and it's going to be Kate and Yelena, and maybe Maya. Maybe not Maya.
Maybe Maya, maybe. I think Maya is going to become Ronin. Maya is Ronin in the comics, the first Ronin in the comics. So it may be kind of a roundabout way of her reclaiming that. We shall see.
You think D'Onofrio's in episode 5? If it's as bananas as everybody's saying, teasing that it's going to be?
Yeah.
Like, who else could really?
I mean, if they're saying, because I'm going off what you said, I wouldn't put D'Onofrio until episode 6, but
that's me too, yeah.
Right? But if you're saying everyone's saying this episode 5 is crazy, then
bananas.
It would be interesting to see him show up, so we shall see. We shall see for sure. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching this episode of the John and Wendy Show. We appreciate you all taking the time. We love hearing from y'all in the Twitch universe, the Twitchiverse. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, we appreciate it as well. If you're watching it later on YouTube, please remember to hit a like on this video and leave a comment down below. What do you think about all the stuff we had to say about the comments the subjects we tackled today? We'd appreciate hearing from you. Thanks again to the great Wendy Lee. Wendy, where can people find you? Please plug everything you got going on.
You can find me right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Wendy Lee Zaney, playing a variety of different games. Some are fun, some scare me to death, and I scream. So if you want to see me get scared, go ahead and follow me on my channel there. You can find me on YouTube at the Movie Couple channel. We have weekly reactions. For now, it's Hawkeye, and then it will be the Book of Boba Fett, and somewhere between when I have the time, the Wheel of Time will show up somewhere in the feed there, and then after that will be Arcane, because I literally have not watched a single episode just so we could do reactions to it because everybody's asking. So
right on.
Get into that. And then, Twitter, Instagram, just this business right here.
There you go. Same thing with my business right below, at the Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Jake is working on new graphics for us. So by next week, we will have the John and Wendy Show officially on the graphics, on the overlay. It's just taking him some time to get to it, but it will be up there for sure. So we'll be fully launching into a new realm. Please remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. I'm so close. I'm at 19,500 subscribers. So close to crossing 20,000. I'd like to cross 20,000 by the end of the year. Kind of a Christmas, New Year's Eve present to myself, and launch 2022 with 20,000 subscribers, which is a big deal. And shout out to Carbon Health, who is sponsoring the Outlaw Nation channel for the last couple of months. Great love to get from them for sure. Make sure the Geek Buddies episodes are up. Jedi Way, a new episode is up on the Jedi Way, talking the book of Boba Fett. I'll be doing an Outlaw Nation show next week where I'll be talking to you about my experiences at the Schmodown Spectacular and officially retiring from the Schmodown and what that experience was like. So stay tuned for an announcement on that as well. And I think that's everything. All right. Oh yeah, and the Geek Buddy, the top 10 and the Cinephiles episodes that are out there in podcasts. All right, we got to get out of here. You guys are the best. Have fun. Enjoy your weekends. We love you, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode here of the John and Wendy Show. Peace.